If you're from the 60s or have a taste for the classics, the name Dick Van Dyke is sure to have caught your attention at some point. This guy is a self-made superstar from the vintage era, having starred in iconic films like Mary Poppins and Chitty Bang Bang. Such movies gained massive popularity for their fantastical cars and flying contraptions, but where all that was limited to on-screen presence, Dick's car collection is very much a reality. From classic sports cars to rare sedans that ooze luxury, the man has an automotive taste that is sure to dwarf any movie magic. So without further ado, let's take a plunge into Dick Van Dyke's beautiful collection of automotive engineering. First up is a German icon all the way from 1948. The Porsche 356 is one of the very first models made by the company, and one that set Porsche on the path to greatness not long after. While it was initially created as a two-door coupe, the 356 garnered a lot of success during its lifetime, prompting Porsche to manufacture its convertible and roadster variants as well. The Porsche 356 isn't known as much for its speed as it is for its superb handling. This lightweight, nimble rear-wheel drive car was initially produced in Austria and later in Germany. Production continued until 1965 when the Porsche 911 was introduced to replace it. However, given the car's massive success and popularity, even the 911 was built on the 356's design and innovation. And while its 1.6-liter engine offered merely 74 horsepower, the 356 excels in steering and durability and has been a favorite car among collectors ever since it broke cover. Since handling has been a central selling point for Porsche's vintage cars like this one, it's good to see Porsche introduce similar modern-day features like Porsche stability management for their more recent purebred supercars. But German engineering isn't the only thing Dick takes a fancy for. His 1966 Ford Mustang showcases the vast palette of the star-studded actor for vintage beauties. Also, fun fact for you, this is the very first Mustang that Ford produced. With its long hood and short deck, the 66 Mustang gave birth to a new class of vehicles known as pony cars. Originally, this car was introduced as a hardtop and convertible, but Ford also pushed out a fastback version a few months later. The interior of the Mustang came in various pristine colors, and its features included bucket seats, an AM radio, and a floor-mounted shifter. The 1965 model year introduced embossed running ponies on the front seats and made the car a lot more modernized with wood grain accents, armrests, and a round gauge cluster. The model that Dick has is the 1966 version, which further sweetened the pot with a new front grille, side ornamentation, and wheel covers. The Mustang had already reached its peak regarding technical specs, but it made sense that the company spent its energy making the car visibly more appealing. Ford's new C4 Cruise-O-Matic 3-speed automatic transmission became available for the 255 horsepower V8. The 66 model was such a massive success that it became the best-selling convertible in 1966 and beat its competitor, the Chevy Impala, by a sales ratio of 2-to-1. And where Dick certainly appreciates the roar of a powerful engine, he also has the taste for design as fine as Jaguar's XK150. Arguably the pinnacle of 1950s design and performance, the XK150 was initially only available in fixed-head coupe and drop-head coupe versions. Jaguar later introduced its Roadster variant with limited weather equipment in 1958 and dubbed it the XK150 OTS. The term OTS means open two-seater. This model differed from the coupe for two primary design reasons. One, the OTS had wind-up windows, and two, the OTS had taller, high-silled windows to accommodate the slight design change, but it still stuck to the simple folding roof that the coupe introduced. Under the hood, you've got a 3,442cc engine capable of pumping out 190 horsepower and a top speed of 132 miles per hour. It's nothing too wild, but considering that this car is from the 50s, imagine the amount of wows it would have raked in then. Jaguar was very generous with the color of their vehicle as well, making it available in red, gray, and white, but also utilizing different shades to offer Sherwood green, Carmine red, and Imperial maroon. The XK150's dashboard was trimmed in leather and walnut was optional on all models. On the early drop-head coupes, the aluminum center dash panel, which was discontinued after June 1958, had an X-pattern engraving similar to that of the early 3.8 E-Type. Jaguar was also very particular about the small details of this machine. They purposefully opted for thinner doors to allow more interior spacing, and a little red light indicated that the front parking lights were on, just in case the driver was in a hurry and forgot to notice. Before the XK150 was retired, 3 of the model's bare chassis were sent to Gruppo Breton in Turin to be bodied as experimental fixed-head coupes. If this move worked, the new design could have been used to replace the XK150 and be labeled as the new XKE150. Even though we think the car looks great with the redesign, particularly the back wings, Jaguar had other plans. In March 1961, the company eventually replaced the entire XK150 lineup with the E-Type. Before we roll into the next car, if you like our content, please subscribe, hit the like button, and turn on that notification bell, as we have an incredible amount of luxury collections that you won't want to miss. Since we're already up to speed about the XK150, it comes as little surprise that Dick Van Dyke went and purchased its successor, the Jaguar E-Type, as the next car in his impressive collection. After the XK150 enjoyed a successful run in the 50s, Jaguar had to up its game, and they did so by introducing a much sleeker and more functionally impressive car. The E-Type, or Jaguar XKE for the North American market, is a British front mid-engined sports car that exudes all the aesthetics and technology of a vehicle ready to become an icon of the 1960s. It's rumored that Enzo Ferrari called the Jaguar E-Type the most beautiful car ever made. It's a controversial statement from one of the industry's greatest, but it's a statement nonetheless, and if he said it, it's true. First off, this 3.8-liter beauty could hit speeds of up to 150 miles per hour with a 0 to 60 time of 7 seconds. Also, keep in mind that this is a vehicle that was made in the 1960s, and it boasts numbers that could put a regular car today to shame. What made the E-Type a sight to behold was that no company had pulled off a design with the front subframe carrying the engine, front suspension, and front bodywork bolted directly to the tub of the body. This gave the car a largely unitary body construction, with a mounted inboard at the rear and impressive rack and pinion steering. The inspiration for Jaguar's E-Type was taken from the company's already successful at the time D-Type racing car, which had won the 24 Hours of Le Mans for 3 back-to-back years starting in 1955. However, where the D-Type lacked looks, Jaguar ensured the E-Type created a healthy balance between aesthetics and performance. You could tell Jaguar made the right moves with this machine because it was, and still is, highly sought after. In fact, apart from the awards it received during its official life cycle, the E-Type was Sports Car International magazine's #1 sports car from the 60s in its 2004 issue. Next, we're jumping from Jaguars to an Italian stallion with the Ferrari 250 GT California Spider. The car is a convertible version of the contemporary 250 California and is powered by the traditional Ferrari V12 engine with all the bells and whistles of a 60s sports car. Almost 100 units of this car were produced and split between long wheelbases from 1957 to 1960 and short wheelbases from 1960 to 1963, respectively. The 250 GT California Spider was explicitly made for the American market. The decision came after Ferrari observed a growing interest by Americans in the European market during the 1950s, specifically for smaller, convertible sports cars. This prompted American dealers like Luigi Chinetti, an Italian-born race car driver based in the States, to nudge Ferrari in America's direction. At that time, a luxurious 250 GT Cabriolet Pininfarina was already getting ready to be shipped out, but Ferrari knew consumers wanted something more sporty, a more aggressive convertible that prioritized speed instead of looks. Thus, Ferrari's top brass-locked arms and decided to do something no Italian auto manufacturer had done before: make a convertible sports car. This risky move turned out to be a huge success and paved the way for future generations of Ferrari to continue what the 250 GT California Spider first introduced. The California Spider effectively combined race car performance with custom specifications, sustaining interest in the car over the years. The prototype was introduced in 1957 and series production commenced in the second quarter of 1958. Because the California Spider is based on the Berlinetta, it shares some aesthetic features with it, like the distinctive hip recesses at the rear and a stylish windshield slope. But it also introduces new aesthetics, such as a more slender profile. The car's fluid body lines extend from the front lights to the curves of the wings, complemented by an aggressive shark mouth grille. While its engine is nothing extraordinary, a 3-liter V12 cranking 240 horsepower, it's still a powerful car that effortlessly combines performance and luxury in a breathtaking appearance. And the car's rich history, coupled with its exclusivity, makes it a crown jewel for any collector's garage, including Dick Van Dyke's. Before we take a look at the final addition to this $1 million collection, let's give an honorable mention to the very car driven by Dick Van Dyke in his critically acclaimed classic Chitty Chitty Bang Bang. Although Van Dyke never owned the car himself, he's been connected with various replicas and iterations of it, with 2 prominent instances standing out from the rest. During the Kennedy Center Honors Show in 2021, Dick was paid tribute to with a 3-4 replica of the same car. Although it wasn't designed by the same company that built the movie version, it still came with all the bells and whistles that made it popular in the first place, complete with deployable wings, a wooden exterior, and commendable craftsmanship. Dick was so impressed that he was quoted saying, "You guys blew me away. That Chitty is perfect." The next instance took place in December 2023 and happened to be a CBS special for Dick's 98th birthday. The episode, or rather birthday celebration, was called Dick Van Dyke, 98 Years of Magic, and featured a star-studded cast along with a gleaming Gen 11 Chitty Prime built by Tony Garofalo. The entire event was masterfully produced and lovably executed by Dick's wife, Arlene Silver, and CBS. Lastly, feast your eyes on the Lexus LS 500 5th generation. A car that is perfect for enjoying the retired life and one whose comfort level is bound to put a smile on Dick's face. Considered one of the very best in its segment, the LS 500 is a premium sedan that is just as impressive on the inside as on the outside. It is the second Lexus model to be built on the GAL platform, after the LC Grand Tourer. It is also the first LS to be powered by a V6 engine. You get a 3.5-liter twin-turbo V6 capable of producing 415 horsepower, perfect for putting a smile on your face if you rev this bad boy up. There's also a 3D surround system by Mark Levinson with in-ceiling array speakers. Besides that, Lexus has been working hard to introduce its remote touch infotainment interface called Lexus Inform, a feature that is prevalent in this car. And Lexus's very own Safety System Plus 2.0 takes care of security functions in and around the vehicle. With so much to offer when it comes to comfort and technology, it's easy to see why Dick Van Dyke went and picked up one of these modern-day beauties for himself. And that's a wrap for this collection. From one of the first Porsche models ever introduced to a premium modern-day Lexus, these are all the cars stashed away in Dick Van Dyke's garage. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a like and subscribe to stay updated on more luxury collections. Let us know what you think of this collection in the comments below. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next one.